In the second chapter of units and measurement, we are going to discuss about dimensional analysis. So this flowchart already in the every lecture we have described this flowchart, and now the final one is nothing but your dimensional analysis. So dear friend, what exactly is the dimensional analysis? So first of all, we should know about the dimensions. So what is dimensions? So dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the fundamental quantities are raised to represent that quantities. Now in the first lecture we have described about the fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Okay, so the dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the fundamental quantities are raised to represent that physical quantity. The equation remember this equation which expresses a physical quantity in terms of the fundamental units, that is mass, length and time, is called dimensional equation. So whenever you are writing the dimensional equation, then that fundamental quantities in terms of that expressed in terms of the fundamental units, that is mass, length and time. According to the principle of homogeneity, a physical equation will be dimensionally correct if the dimensions of all the terms all of the terms are occurring on both sides of the equations are the same. Now this first point, second point and third point we will discuss one by one. So here the dimensions of the, you can say, fundamental quantities. So what are the fundamental quantities are here? The fundamental quantities, there are seven fundamental quantities: length, mass, time, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, luminous intensity, amount of substance, and these are the dimensional formula for that one. For example, length is measured in L, so you have to use this bracket while expressing the dimensional formula. So length, capital L, similarly mass, capital M in this bracket. So time, capital T, electric current, capital A, thermodynamic temperature, capital K, luminous intensity, CD, that is candela, and amount of substance is nothing but mole. So all these fundamental quantities you are expressed in dimensional formula. Now what you have to do the next one? Dimensions of the derived quantities. Remember, fundamental quantities and derived quantities. So derived quantities are those which are expressed with the help of the fundamental quantities. So here we have to use the fundamental quantities, seven fundamental quantities. You have to express the derived quantities here. Now first of all, area. What is area? Length into breadth. Okay, area is equal to, you can say, length into breadth. Both are measured in meter. So I can write here in terms of mass, length and time. I can write here, this is also length, this is also length. So I can write here L square. And remaining are absent. So M0, M in 0, L in 2 and T in 0. That is also, you can read this one, M0, L2, T0. Similarly, density you can write here M1, L minus 3, T0. Speed M0, L1, T minus 1. Acceleration, gravitational constant, power, strain, frequency, work and surface tension. There are so many physical quantities are expressed. You can, here one quantity, strain, is dimensionless because it is the ratio of the same quantities. That's why it's a dimensionless quantity. So already you have expressed this. These are the dimensional formula. What is this? These are the dimensional formula for all these physical quantities here. Now next one, the main use of dimensional analysis. There are four main uses of dimensional analysis. What are the four uses are there? Number one, to convert a unit of a given physical quantity from one system of units to another system, for which we use N2 is equal to N1 into M1 upon M2 raised to A, L1 upon L2 raised to B, T1 upon T2 raised to C. This equation we will use to convert the unit from one system to the another one. So to check the correctness of a given physical relation, to derive relationship between different physical quantities, and third one, to derive the dimensions of a physical constants. So these are the main uses of the dimensional analysis. So here I will take one example here. Now you see, convert 7 joule into erg. Sometimes you may say that convert 1 joule into how many erg, etc. So dimensions of work. First of all, you should know the joule is the, you can say, the unit of work. So you have to express this one into dimensions form. So dimensions of work you can write is equal to, that is m1 L2 T minus 2. And SI unit and CGS units, you have to express M1, L1, T1 and N1 in, you can say, SI units. Then CGS unit M2, L2, T2 and N2. Now you have to find 1 joule into erg. So that means erg means you have to calculate, that is in CGS unit. So what is the value of this N2 here? So convert all this M1, L1, T1. That means M1 is equal to 1 kilogram. Then you have to convert that into gram, that is 1000 gram. So here I have used 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram. Now again length L1 is equal to 1 meter. You convert it into that into centimeter, that is 100 centimeter I have used here. Then time is no doubt both the units, that the time is same in second unit. Here N1 is equal to 7 joule, it is given to you, and you have to calculate N2 here. Now when you are using the formula, N2 is equal to N1 into M1 upon N2 raised to A, L1 upon L2 raised to B, and T1 upon T2 raised to C. So this A, B, C are 1, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to minus 2. From this one I have written this A, B and C value. So putting this value here, 1, 2 and minus 2, that is A, B and C here. And again M1, that is 1 kilogram, that is nothing but 1000 gram. And 1 gram here, you can say put M1 upon M2, cancelling the same unit, that is gram. Ultimately you will get 1000 raised to 1. Here also 1 meter upon 1 centimeter, 1 meter you convert it into 100 centimeter. Again it's the ratio of the same quantity, so 100 you will get 100 square. Then here you can say second 1, so 1 raised to minus 2. So writing this all these things, you will get N2 is equal to, ultimately N2 is equal to 7 into 10 to the power 7, because here 10 to the power 3 and here 10 to the power 4. So 4 plus 3 is 7, that you will get 7 into 10 to the power 7 erg. So in this way, by using this formula, you have converted that 7 joule into erg. Okay, that means from SI unit to CGS unit you have converted. So that is the main use of this formula here. Next one, dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis, checking the equation with the dimensional analysis. That means you have to check the dimensions of the equation from both the sides. If the dimensions from both the sides are equal, then you can say that is the correctness of the equations. For example, if I will take here xf minus xi is equal to v1t minus 1/2 at square, or you can say here s is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. You can take this expression also. So here you can say this is velocity, time, acceleration, time. So put the values of this velocity, time, acceleration and time, and substitute or solve this one. You will find that the LHS is equal to RHS. That means each term must have same dimensions. Two variables cannot be added if dimensions are different. Multiplying variables is always fine. Numbers, that is 1/2 or pi, is dimensionless. So here already it has shown also here, you see. So xi minus xf, that means nothing but here you can say the displacement, that is nothing but in terms of length, so you will get here L. So ultimately that v into t, velocity into time. So ultimately velocity is nothing but that is displacement upon time. Displacement upon time means L by t. So here L by t into this t. So ultimately you will get, by solving this one, you will get L. And here 1/2 at square. Acceleration, that is meter per second square. So its dimension you have to write m upon t square and into t square. So ultimately you will get here L. So all this side you will get LH is equal to here L, and RH is equal to also you will get here L. So ultimately you can say that this equation is dimensionally correct one. Now here the another example is there. The frequency of vibration of stretched string depend on its length, mass per unit length and tension. Derive the relation between them. Now here we have to find the formula for the frequency. Now how you will find the formula of the frequency? So first of all, what are the given things are here, on which factor it is dependent. That is, frequency is dependent here L, length, mass and you can say tension. So these three, L, m and t. These three things are involved. So therefore you always write that one, L raised to A, M raised to B, T raised to C. Therefore write frequency V is equal to some constant, because directly proportional that proportionality constant you have to replace by this K. So nu is equal to K into L raised to A, M raised to B, T raised to C. So taking the dimensions on both sides. For example, frequency nu is equal to 1 upon T. So I can write here T raised to minus 1. So we have taken here dimensional formula, e raised to minus 1 is equal to L raised to A. L, what is length? Length is measured in L. Then this M, that is mass per unit length. Mass per unit length, therefore M L raised to minus 1 raised to B. And here tension. So you have to write this formula M L T raised to minus 2 raised to C. So by using the exponential rule, so and comparing the value of A, B and C, ultimately I will get the value of A, B and C, and putting the value of A, B and C in this equation, I will get here nu is equal to K by L square root of T by M. So in this way, by comparing this the dimensions from taking the dimensions and comparing from both the sides and finding the value of A, B and C, we can derive the formula for this from this equation, that is frequency is equal to K by L square root of T by M. So now here derive the dimensions of A and B in van der Waals equation. So these equations you can see, again you can find out the same thing from this given formula. Now the limitations of dimensional analysis. What are the limitations are here? Dimension analysis has no information on dimensionless constant. If nu is equal to 1 by 1 upon L square root of T by M, the value of K cannot be found by dimension analysis. Whatever the constant is there, that value you cannot find the value of the constant by using the dimension analysis. If the quantity is dependent on trigonometric or exponential function, this method cannot be used. For example, y is equal to a sin of omega t. So you cannot use the dimensional analysis method here. Third one, this method cannot be used if the physical quantity contains more than one term, say sum or difference of two terms. For example, s is equal to ut plus 1 of at square. This cannot be derived using the dimensional analysis. The last one, it cannot be used if the physical quantity is dependent on more than 3 unknown variable. So these are the limitations about the dimensional analysis. Next one, state the dimensional formula. State the dimensional formula for following physical quantities. So force, you can write here m L T raised to minus 2. So force is equal to, you can write mass into acceleration. So mass, that is in m, and acceleration again meter per second square. So meter per second square, you can write here L T square, or ultimately L T raised to minus 2. And here the you can say F is equal to m into A. M into A. These are the dimensions of, you can say, A, and mass you can write here capital M. So ultimately you will write here m L T raised to minus 2. These are the dimensional formula for the force. Again you can proceed for the pressure. Pressure is equal to what? Force per unit area. So again by using the same thing you can calculate the dimensional formula for the pressure, surface tension, torque and angular momentum. So dear friends, all these things here in this particular session we have discussed about the dimensional formula, how to use this dimensional formula for the various physical quantities, and how to use the fundamental you can say the fundamental quantities and the derived quantities, and how to check by the, you can say by using the dimensional analysis the consistency of the equations. That means if the dimensions on both the sides are equation of the equations are correct, then that equations are dimensionally correct one. So and how to convert that is from one unit into another unit, this formula also we have explained here. So I hope you have enjoyed this session and you might have come to know about the conversion of the, you can say, dimensional analysis. So once again I request you to go through all the slides or this session and refer your textbook also, and please try to solve some problems related with this particular topic. Thank you very much.